What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Caden Arake, and this is the beginning of a series of videos that I'm gonna do called the Choices series. And it's a series of videos because I think it's people like men, particularly, but men and women, we make a lot of choices about relationships, getting in them, getting out of them, being broken up with, talking to our ex, etc. We make a lot of choices without adequately weighing the pros and cons of making those choices and seeing the, I guess, dark side or the good that comes out of these things. So I and completely understanding them. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys, y'all lose your girl, you don't understand how to get her back. You don't even understand what made her like you to begin with. So that's what this series gonna be about. In the first video, which is this video, in that series is going to be the dark side of choosing to be in a relationship, period. So I'm going to talk about the cons of choosing to be in a relationship, because everybody see the light side, right? Everybody like, oh, well, I want to be in a relationship. I want to find that person who's gonna love me regardless. I want to find that girl who check all the boxes. I want to find that guy who does the things that I need them to do. But we don't think about the things that inhibit us. So I got my list, all right, and I'm gonna start from 5 to 1. Number 5 on that list is gonna be, it slows us down, particularly as men, when we striving to go get what we want in life, when we striving to get all of the things that we dream about and like get to that status as a man that we want to be. Having a woman slows us down. It slows you down financially because you have to spend money to date her. You should be dating your girl. If you in a relationship with her, you should constantly be courting her again. You would never hear me say opposite. And if you hear somebody else say opposite, then they don't know how to deal with women. It slows you down. You have to commit time to the woman that you're with. You have to commit resources to her, and those are time and resources that you could be using to speed up your progress into where you want to be as a man. Number 4 on that list, another con, is you have to be emotionally available. And the reason that comes in as a con is because a lot of times guys don't really understand what being emotionally available mean to a woman that you choose to be in a relationship with, bro. It means all of the stuff you pull when you out here in the streets, when you got rosters, etc., you can't pull with this woman, because at the end of the day, you making a commitment to the woman. And so it's because you make the commitment. It's because you decided to be in a relationship in general. And this stuff works for women too. Like, it's the same thing for women too, just backwards engineer it. But because you make that commitment, now you have to stand on it as a man. Otherwise, your masculine frame or your word becomes questioned at the end of the day. And when your word becomes questioned, you go to number 3, where respect is everything, right? So if you don't know how to maintain respect, and most guys don't over the course of time. Like, some guys, like, initially she respect you, she like you, you're that guy, she wants you to be him. Or if you're a woman watching this video, like, he respect you, he court you, blah blah blah, like, and it's easy. The beginning is easy. It's always easy. But to maintain that respect over time is a hard line to walk. Oh, how much should I give? How much should I compromise? How much should I do this? How much should I do that? To maintain the level of respect in a relationship while you're in it. Because the minute you lose respect, the minute you do something where someone doesn't respect you, they start to inevitably treat you less than they treated you in the beginning. And when that happens, the relationship itself begins to deteriorate, my boy or girl. The relationship itself begins to deteriorate. And so a lot of people like, man, this was so good at first. Oh, you tricked me. Oh, you lied to me. Oh, you acted. Oh, you were this great person at the beginning, and now you a piece of shit. But that's not the reality. That wasn't on purpose. Most times that wasn't on purpose. That wasn't on purpose. That was just, they had this level of respect for you. So there were certain lines they wouldn't cross, certain boundaries they wouldn't go over, and certain things they wouldn't say. They might have thought it, they might have felt it, but they wouldn't say it out loud because they respected you enough to have a healthy fear of losing you, right? And so they didn't do that stuff. So when that healthy fear of losing you disappears, then it becomes, oh, well, who cares? I'm finna say this thing, or I feel this emotion. You're about to hear about it. F you, all of that good stuff. So that's always going to be a con when choosing a relationship. Now, these last two, they so important. Number 2, a con. And I got to put this in the cons list because everybody can relate to it. Most times, we do not choose the right person. And the reason for that is we don't have the skill set to choose the right person. We haven't gained the skill set to choose the right person to be in a long-term relationship with. A lot of people just want to be in a relationship because of how it looks. Oh, we on Instagram together, couple goals, and I want to go on vacations and blah blah blah, all of that good stuff. You want to do all of the fun things. You want to do all of the things that stand out that you could show off on social media, all of the cute whatever. You want to feel all of the good feelings. However, you so want to feel those things, you don't vet properly. You haven't gained the ability and the talent to be able to discern someone who is good for you from someone who is not good for you. Someone who long term doesn't have what you need, who you aren't compatible with long term. And see, what a lot of people do is they stay way too long in these relationships where they not compatible with somebody, or they stay way too long in these relationships that they know aren't going to work out because that person isn't going to change or compromise in a way that's necessary to make that relationship work out. They stay way too long because they're afraid to walk away, and they give up their power because they're afraid to walk away. And that is the kind of a relationship, because that can be a personal hell, to be in a relationship with somebody who just isn't making you happy, but unable to get the power or the strength or the ability to walk away and leave them makes you even worse off in that relationship. So that's definitely a con to being in a relationship. And the number one con to being in a relationship, the number one is, it's the darkest side to being with anybody, choosing a relationship. It's not all about you anymore. It's not about you anymore. See, the thing about a relationship is you should be going to a relationship to give, not take, not see what you can get, not none of that, right? And the reality is most people are selfish. Most people want to know what they can get from it. Most people are thinking about how you treated them, what you gave them, what you give to them, how you make them feel is the biggest one. That's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about what they can give to the relationship. They're not thinking about what they can make you feel. They're not thinking about how they can help you along. And because they're not thinking about that, and because they're not giving that energy into the relationship, the human selfishness, like humans are naturally selfish, especially women. This ain't no like gender choosing bullshit. This just speaking in straight fact, bro. Like, the women are more selfish. It's to protect offspring. It's for many reasons, right? Scientifically, many reasons why women are naturally selfish, more selfish than men. And because of that, like, a lot of women, especially in our generation, they approach relationships with it being pretty much all about them without even realizing they're approaching it with it being all about them. Men, in turn, do this too, because they feel like if I don't make it about myself, then she's going to make it all about her, and it's just going to deteriorate anyway. And then you get those like guys who they're self-centered anyway, they're going to make it about themselves anyway, and the vice versa happens with the women, right? So then you got this relationship where it's this tug of war of power, and no one's thinking about each other. No one's thinking about what they could do for the other person. No one's thinking about how they can help the other person, how if they just gave to the other person that it would be better or a better situation to be in. No, they're thinking about themselves and what they can get. And that's the biggest con to relationships right now, is because if you need it to be about you, if you need time for yourself, if you need to develop yourself, if you need to become the best version of you, which you should be doing, then it's harder to do that in the confines of a relationship, because you have to consider that it's not all about you. And unless you're real good with time management and you can manage the time that you spend on yourself, getting yourself together and building yourself up, and you can pour into and give to that other person the correct way, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. But this is the dark side of choosing relationships in the first place, because you have to be aware of these things, bro. You have to. If not, you're probably not ready to be there, bro. And if you're not ready to be in a relationship, then you need to take a long look in the mirror and tell yourself, hey, I'm not ready yet. Let me do the things that I need to do to get ready. It's your boy Cater the Rake, man. Hit that like, comment, subscribe. I know this video a little bit different than my usual videos, but tell me how y'all like it in the comments, man. It's your boy. I'm out of here.